All right, so the big question is, should you read 11/22/63, a time travel story by Stephen King that I really enjoyed. First book I ever read by Stephen King. I think for some people it's going to be a great read. For some people it is going to be a definite no. So let's get into it. So this is a very long book. I could see where it would be very hard for some people. The audiobook that I listened to was over 30 hours worth of content. The book itself was pretty darn thick. I was able to get it from Libby, which is a service that I use through my local library. I would definitely say I wouldn't let children read this book, at least not children under the age of 16. There's quite a bit of profanity. It was actually shocking the amount of profanity in this book. I didn't like that at all. I really enjoyed the characters. I actually kind of liked the love story, and I'm not a big love story person, but it was an engaging love story that even a man could enjoy. A big part of the book was how different 1958 to 1963 was. Race relations are very different. The way that we thought about things, the way that we cook things, it's just so different in that time. And he spent a lot of time talking about the differences between our time and that time. I thought that was a neat, interesting thing that he went over. Something else that was pretty neat, I haven't read it, but I did recognize the characters in it when he go at a certain place in the story. That was really neat. I've heard that Stephen King ties all of his books together. I think it's a neat kind of interconnectivity thing that he does. So it was neat that they talked to some of the kids from it. It wasn't a big callback, but it was enough of a callback that it was interesting, and it kept me thinking about it. So that was really neat as well. One of the big topics that Stephen King went over in this book was watershed moments. Moments that change your life, where all of a sudden your life's going one way and then things drastically change for you. So the big watershed moment that the book went over was the assassination of President Kennedy and how that changed the world. I guess the grandfatherly character Al had the idea that if Kennedy lived, America would be so much different. He said, Vietnam would be different. We wouldn't have the race riots. We wouldn't have all these other things that were very specific to who Kennedy was. I also think, personally, that if Kennedy wasn't assassinated, we wouldn't have gotten to the moon first. I think that was a big moment where we got to the moon first because Kennedy died. We came together as a country, kind of the way we came together through 9/11. So that was a really neat moment that I think Stephen King didn't really call into focus, that because of Kennedy's death, we went to the moon faster. When we come together as a country, things happen for the positive, for the whole world, I think. So in conclusion, I'd like to say, I think if you're interested in time travel, pretty good book. Really liked it. If you're interested in a fairly good love story, I think that's pretty good for you as well. If you're not a fan of profanity, I would not read this book. It's pretty much laced all the way through it, and there's not a way to avoid it, unfortunately. I feel like in the religious discussion on it, I think Al was kind of Stephen King, and he wasn't big on religion. But I think Jake, the character that we follow, is maybe even a little bit more of a religious character. So he believes that there's a God, maybe. I'm not sure exactly how he goes on that. I don't feel like there's anything that would offend anyone religious in this. For me personally, it didn't offend me, except for the language. I really didn't like how much foul language was in this. But overall, I really, really enjoyed the book, and I'll probably read another Stephen King book. So if you want to support the channel, there's a couple links down below for some Amazon affiliate stuff. And I'll have links down below where you can buy the book, or you can check into Libby. I thought that was a really cool service, and I enjoyed it a lot. I will try to put out a discussion video that's much more in depth with a lot of spoilers. I know this one doesn't really have any spoilers, if any at all. And I would really enjoy anybody commenting down below. Love to keep this a discussion. That's why I wanted to create this YouTube channel, and I appreciate everyone who does. Thank you. Bye.